Let's set the stage here. This is the Bitcoin Army, Saturday space. We do every Saturday at 11 o'clock. Um, Sometimes we do a space that is more informational.
Gang, 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 gang. What's up, y'all? Man, I just wanted to review some shit that, everybody was thinking that was at the time, I get it because, price was pumping and everything, but even from 105 to 120, we're gonna break down what the spaces was right here because I had did this in what was it, May 17, 2025, from what I could see. So I definitely want to break down this spaces. It's definitely gonna be a long one. You definitely don't have to tune in or anything. Like I like doing the long, boring things because I drop out for little bits here and there. Like you got to be really into this. You can't just be one of those regular people. But yo, shout out to everybody that's out there, man, showing love, man. Once again, I appreciate everything. Definitely been having my little battles with a couple of people, but it seems like those things are coming to an end these days because yeah, baby, we're just bagging the fuck out of them. You know what I'm saying? They keep on thinking that this is it, but it's just beginning. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I just want to jump up into this and get that shit. What the fuck are they showing, bro? See what I mean, bro? X is delusional, bro. This is what I'm talking about. What the fuck is this? Yeah, we gonna have to. Where's the not interested in shit like this? I'm more interested in shit like this. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, let's jump up into this, and I'm gonna be on the charts. I'm gonna be stopping this every once in a while to throw a little extra 2 cents in there, and show you, tell you guys what I was meaning those times, or even if there was any clarities or anything like that, like or just to point out little fuckeries and little sayings and shit like that. But we're gonna jump right into it. So let's get this shit cracking.
Learning. Sat Scholar did one with us a couple weeks ago about learning to set up a node, things like that. Then some other of our spaces, we do more like a chat with a topic that is not cut and dry. So that's what we're doing this week. The title of the space is Bitcoin Wall Street's bitch. That was
Definitely
a
is.
quote that we got from our co-host here, Prolific Joints, on I think it was our last space. He brought that out, and it was pretty thought provoking. What we're going to do today is we're going to bring anyone up who wants to speak. Going to come up. Journey is going to help us manage who's coming up and who's going to. If you're up on stage, raise your hand if you want to speak. We're going to keep it civil. Just want everyone to remember that this is not. There's no right answer here. So we could literally
There's
have
only right
50
answers.
different opinions,
No, you
and
can
we
only
can
have one
have a civil
opinion,
debate. We can have,
and that's the
we can talk
truth.
about it. But I don't, I don't know that anyone's right. I see personally many sides of this. So we're going to get started. I want to start by, I'm just going to introduce it really quick, and then we're going to go to Prolific. I think that most people here are Bitcoiners, and everybody probably believes that Bitcoin, to some degree, was created so that Wall Street would not be in control, right? Bitcoin is an independent thing, it's permissionless, resistant to manipulation. Um, when I first heard about Bitcoin, I don't think Wall Street had anything to do with it at all. It was just, people trading, you know, buying things on online, things like that. So Wall Street's been in for a while. Wall Street got in with MicroStrategy. There were derivatives of it, and now with the ETFs, it's sort of gone next level. So any kind of these things that you all want to talk about, we can get into. And let's start it. Oh, did we just lose Prolific just as he was about to come up? Hold on.
He's back. He's back. I think it's just Space's glitch, bro. He's back now.
Okay.
You're still gonna have to invite him to call us because he's in the audience there.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I'm still getting him up. I'll. No, there he is. All right, Prolific. I just looks like you got kicked out. I think I got you back on. So whenever you're back in here, what I'd like to start with is if you could give us a basis for your quote from the last space and just a little bit of an overview of what you think, and we'll jump off from there.
Let's get into
All
it.
right. So, man, this is a long, like
Super long.
I've been studying this for damn near 13 years already. And I'm watching the whole entire movement right now with Bitcoin, especially after last year after the ETFs got approved. So there's a lot of things but I'm gonna basically start off on the top. The reason why the ETF got approved last year is because now the happening is dwindling down on rewards that actually come into the market, meaning that they can't dump on Wall Street no more. So that was the strong point, and that's where a lot of people started to realize, especially in Wall Street, that now's the time to enter in Bitcoin. We tried to get an approval in 2013. We tried to get an approval in 2017. Nothing ever happened. We tried to get an approval in 2020. Nothing happened. It wasn't until 2022 that they gave us the actual approval, and then everything else. So now you fast forward to today, we have one of the most bullish years ever in Bitcoin's history. We have never had the president literally tweeting about a Bitcoin strategic reserve. We have all this bullish news about all these institutions and everything buying billions upon billions of dollars of Bitcoin, and the price going nowhere. You look at the old happenings and the old cycles, and you see in the early days we went up 10,000%. 2017 we went up almost 1,000%. 400% in 2020. 2024 right now we sitting at a cool little 80% right now, and price is sitting at $104,000. That doesn't look good. You look at the top of the order books where price is sitting higher at Bitcoin, like around 105,000 to 110, 105,000 all the way up to $120,000. There is nothing but sell orders. These dudes are dumping the price, gripping it back up, for instance, like at $77,000, and being able to sell the price at 104,000. Wall Street does not give a fuck about hodl dreams. They don't care about nothing like that. They only care about um, being able to get fees off of this. They're selling number one, they're selling paper Bitcoin. Like, no one should be ecstatic about somebody selling paper Bitcoin, because they're just hodling the Bitcoin, the real Bitcoin, while the other people are buying this paper thing and trying to ride the shares out. And companies like MicroStrategy are covered. Even if they file for bankruptcy or anything like that, they don't got to give back that Bitcoin. And a lot of companies have structures like that. Some companies got structures where people will, get their money back or whatever. But a lot of these companies don't have structures like that. You're going to eat that paper Bitcoin. And this is, to me, this is one of the most pivoting times in our life. Bitcoin was born in a recession. It's never been through a recession. We have, upcoming recession indicators saying that we could possibly be heading into a recession. We got consumer sentiment down right now. We got Walmart and hiking prices on their stuff. We got UPS and FedEx firing employees, 50,000 employees. Like, the
This is a
future's not
slow
looking so
unravel
bright. We
too.
got tariff on
They've been
pause
slowly
January 9th.
unraveling little by
We got a
little.
lot of things that are going on. And this is all institution related. And, I go on X and I see a lot of people clapping and being like, oh, yeah. Because they're just, a lot of people want number to go up, but you want number to go up based off of Larry Fink saying on the news that, oh, we're going to buy more
Or
Bitcoin.
institutionals,
Like,
hedge funds,
that's
anybody else.
counterintuitive to what we're doing as Bitcoiners and how we're doing this. We're trying to take these guys down. We shouldn't be cheering for these guys to be coming into our space and to be fucking, excuse my language, but to be just bending us over and treating us like a bitch. Like I keep saying, like, Bitcoin is Wall Street's bitch. The lock supply goes into two different ways. So that's just a little rant. But if you guys have any other questions and stuff like that, because I can go on for hours, we can really
Hey,
get this thing
Prolific,
kicked off.
let me see if I can clarify a little bit. So going on the Bitcoin is Wall Street's bitch topic, do you think that it is an overall bad thing? I'm assuming that there are ETFs, or do you think that this started, and do you think this started with the ETFs, or do you think this was starting years ago when we got like synthetic derivatives? Even MicroStrategy has been in the game, publicly traded for. I think they were buying Bitcoin publicly traded in 2020, if I remember
That's
correctly. I
correct.
think so. Do you think when you have this thought, do you think this started back then, or do you think this was a more recent thing now that you can get it in the ETF and there are options on ETFs and things like that? Can you differentiate between those?
So yeah, basically, what I feel that happened, especially within that time frame, especially with Michael Saylor, is that he understood that the community was going to keep on buying or keep on, the sentiment around Bitcoin is that it number only goes up, it never goes down. So coming from his perspective and being, one of the leaders and stuff like that, I could see where he takes his position. But as far as anything else with like the options and everything, yeah, bro, I feel like this really started really now taking effect because people are trying to steal Michael Saylor's concept, buying these publicly traded companies and taking them public and having people buy shares so that they can buy Bitcoin. But when you do that, um, you know, investors like Warren Buffett and people like that, they have a criteria of their list. And usually, like, you invest into a railroad system. Why? Because it's transporting people back and forth throughout the city and doing certain things. But right now, Bitcoin, its intrinsic use is a peer-to-peer transactional piece. It really doesn't have anything to do with the store of value. We're hurting the system currently because we have a lot of hodling going on. We're dwindling down on returns for miners to do this. Miners are being captured by these same entities right now. Like everybody knows that they're being
Fast forward
captured.
today, you can go
But
check the
being
mining
threaded
blocks and
by
they
our
damn
node
near
runners
empty.
and stuff like and things like that. So I do feel like we have a huge overall huge threat. But these guys are going to utilize every single tool that they have at their power to beat us at their game. We're a bunch of new investors. Wall Street had to go to college. They had to pass tests. They had to do everything to become a decent investor. So we're sitting here, and these guys are playing with billions, man. I tell people all the time, like, you guys, we need Bitcoin to go up to $1 million because we're broke. They need Bitcoin to only go up 1% because 1% of $1 billion is great enough for them to take profits home.
Yep, they taking that
So
money right off the damn table.
I
They
do
literally
feel like
Titty McPhilly.
there's a lot of shenanigans being played within the background, and it's being paid off of our backs because we're being too naive to even question anything. We're just number go
What
up.
do you think? What do you think is the number one issue? Like, if you were going to break it down into all of the issues, if you were just going to pick one thing, what do you think is the biggest issue or problem, um, in the system? To make it essentially Bitcoin was Wall Street's bitch. Like, what do you think is the number one thing that leads you to that conclusion?
The number one thing is basically that they have the money. So BlackRock was the first person to actually put out a commercial. Throughout our 16 years in Bitcoin, we ain't never ever in our history had a commercial. BlackRock did it. They're the first person. They're going to onboard the masses through commercials. They're going to onboard the masses through comfortability. They're going to onboard everybody throughout their system. And nobody's going to be able to purchase Bitcoin. They're going to offer these iBit shares at a cheaper price because Bitcoin's sitting at $104,000. Nobody's going to be looking at that. The price swings are going to be too crazy. Even right now, that everybody's talking about this Steak Shack shit, and it's like Steak Shack is converting their sats immediately over because they can't. Not only are they a dying company, but they can't even have the volatility of Bitcoin. So people are praising this. They're giving an incentive 2,000 sats if you could fucking repost their burger joint, and bro, it's all gonna be a game. When I was talking about the flagless situation on how this man built Florida and stuff like that, this is what I'm talking about. These bankers, these institutions, these people built this whole entire world. They built everything that we sleep on today. Even though they built it off of our backs, they still built it. They're the ones who are getting the revenue from everything that is coming in from what makes this, the world tick. And Bitcoin was just the one thing that we had to beat the game. And like I said, I feel like we sold out as Bitcoiners. We sold out a lot.
Definitely sold out. You can see that now
every day
today.
I look at Twitter and X, and I'm looking at people literally saying, "Yo, we're waiting for."
They all jumping in the MSTRs and all these other preferred stocks that's giving them dividends.
Micro Sailor, man. If Bitcoin moves 36 cents right now, people are gonna say that it's going up to $444,000. Like
36 cents. Ain't
our
that
mindset
crazy?
is really, really skewed right now.
So we have so you are absolutely, and I don't think anyone can argue this, that
You
they
guys
are
definitely did. You
capturing the
argued the
money. I
fuck
think
out of
that
me.
is a
You're
super
just not
important
arguing it
point,
now.
because you look at MicroStrategy, and I mean they have what, is it over 500,000 Bitcoin now, I think.
Yes, they do.
And BlackRock alone, I mean technically, like I own some IBIT in a retirement account, but I don't control it. So I mean that money is there, and if my brokerage, if Charles Schwab goes down, what happens, right? Like there are these issues, that money is captured. So I don't think anyone can argue that. If someone does have an argument that a lot of the Bitcoin is not captured, I'd love to hear it, because I think that is pretty obvious. So the next step I want to go with this is knowing that that is a thing that's going on. What do you view as the issue with that? What do you think is going to be the problem? Like right now, you could say maybe there's not a big problem. We've got price over 100,000. You can still have your own Bitcoin in cold storage. Where do you think this is going, where the problem will come? Or do you think the problem is already here?
I think the problem is
Opinion.
already here. So basically, I feel like retail sentiment is not bullish; it's desperate.
Yep.
So
Desperate.
if you want Bitcoin to go up,
There's a lot of
and
fucking
you want to
people in
feel
here
smart about buying it late,
desperate.
but the real players are praying that it drops so that they can load up again. That's what I feel is going on. You're waiting for somebody to actually fucking send out a tweet and say, "Hey, I bought Bitcoin," and then you're going in, dropping your money, your hard-earned money, into an asset. And mind you, your hard-earned money is being depleted right now. It's at one of its all-time lowest values right now. You got interest rates throughout the roof, meaning that nobody even wants to borrow our money at the current time. And we're busting our ass right now, knowing that inflation is killing us out here in these streets. We're putting in our little $50 into Bitcoin, but we're putting in it at the top. And these guys are having billions of $400-300 million getting ready to dump at us on $105,000 to bring the price back down to 77. We're not buying smart, we're buying dumb. And that's what I feel like most people in Bitcoin are now becoming more desperate than being, smart. Like when I first came into Bitcoin, we were trying to figure out how we can take over the world. Fast forward after 2016, it became this whole entire store value type thing. And where did that narrative come from? I know price was going up, so it was a good narrative to build around. But who you think is filling these narratives into our brains and doing everything? It's these people who control everything. They scrape all our data. They got machines that pick up sentiment on everything that we do. Like, bro, this, and we sit on Twitter all day and just give them the information. This is how I'm feeling. Fuck me. And it's like, yo, come on, guys. Like,
So I mean you make a lot of good points, and I don't have a good argument against that. What I am curious about, though, to piggyback on one thing you said, I think part of your issue, or part of the problem that you see, is that Wall Street is about to dump on us as holders. And I don't want to go too far. So you don't necessarily think it's an issue that they're about to dump on us right now. You think it's an issue that there are big players and they're just going to play us up and down.
Okay, yes, that's exactly what it is. I personally right now, first of all, I'm not bearish or bullish against things. I'm a trader, so I look for movement within the game. But overall on everything right now, I'm looking for, not even what I'm looking for. I'm seeing within the game that these dudes are dumping astronomical amounts of Bitcoin on us to bring the price back down to 77,000, picking it up at 77,000 to resell it at 104,000. And anybody who's getting washed in between those are getting washed. Now, yes, you could
But
have.
why do you think that's gonna happen though, bro? Like, I mean, don't you think at one
And they
point
got
they'll have
washed.
to show proof of reserves, and then you have a supply squeeze, and then
Some of
people
them
actually
gotta show
bringing
proof of
Bitcoin off
reserve,
the
some of them
exchange,
don't.
and then you got it there? Like, don't you think that happens?
yes, that could happen, but we're already at supply squeeze. We're at all-time lows on balances, and these guys understand this. You got to remember, their game is to sell you the ETF. It's not about collecting Bitcoin. They're selling their customers paper Bitcoin. They're not selling real Bitcoin. They're giving them customers exposure, but they're not giving them the correct exposure.
When you say paper Bitcoin, I mean, obviously, IBIT is not Bitcoin in cold storage, but I want to clear one thing up, and I think different people could have different opinions on this too. But for paper Bitcoin, are you thinking that that Bitcoin might not exist, or when you're saying paper Bitcoin, are you thinking more that it's just not something that you can control yourself?
All right. So in the early days, because I came throughout trading and everything throughout Ethereum and stuff, not throughout the Ethereum, through Bitcoin, but when Ethereum came into play, I noticed what they were doing. So Ethereum came out, they came out with a bunch of shit coins. Ethereum had to be funded by Bitcoin in the first time, in the first thing, because Coinbase had limited access at the time. So most purchases of Ethereum at that time when it first came out was through Bitcoin. That was a steal of your Bitcoin. You going from Bitcoin to ETH was the steal of your Bitcoin. Then your ETH going into shit coins was the other steal of your Ethereum, right? So I see the same concept going on with the stocks. Right now, these dudes are buying these companies that are pretty much failing. They're attaching Bitcoin to it, even though Bitcoin, when an investor is looking for how much money is being brought in to the asset, not by who's buying it, by how much this asset is, how much this company is actually producing real value in the world. And Bitcoin doesn't meet any of these qualifications. So when you sit back and you look at that, why you think a person like Warren Buffett doesn't want to touch this with a 10-foot pole is because there's no intrinsic value to him of him being able to look at numbers and say, well, Bitcoin has a trajectory of, bringing in income. But it's literally selling the next man your dream. And that's why everybody gets hyped. They get nervous when the price goes down because they bought at all times highs, but they get hyped when it goes up because they're just dumping their bags on another person who's less educated. And that's how the Ponzi, and since I've been in it so long, like I've been seeing, my generation come in, dump their bags on the new generation come in, and this is that cycle of us technically getting rich. And right now Wall Street's just in here and they're like, oh well, if I need to move Bitcoin 2.5%, I just need if I need to move Bitcoin 2%, I just need $2.5 billion. Back in the days, we could have moved Bitcoin 2% with $1 million. Today, you need $2.5 billion. That's Wall Street. That's not us.
All right, one last question, and then I'm gonna open it up to some other speakers that might have more questions for you or have other viewpoints.
Okay.
Um, so what I'm curious about is I can see personally everything you're saying. I get that. I don't personally have a major opinion on this, but um, I do see Wall Street coming in and manipulating and all these things. But I'm curious about one thing with you, with your own view. Do you think so? Most people in the Bitcoin space and in that follow the cycles and everything still think that Bitcoin is not at the end of this current 4-year cycle, and that we're still going to get to at least 150 up to 200, maybe more this year or early next year at the towards the end of the cycle.
Correct.
Um, do you believe that, or do you think that Wall Street has now gotten such a hold on it that they're going to be able to manipulate that down so we don't get that big blow off or upswing, as you might put it?
So I see it. I definitely see it two ways. I see it that Wall Street could be scraping all the data off of all social medias to find out the sentiment or whatever it is, and they could give us $180,000 to make us believe that the cycle is still intact. But as I sit right now, if by October, the ending of October, if we do not hit $180,000, I would say all metrics are broken, and we're gonna have to come up with a new way to how to sell Bitcoin.
That actually, okay, one more question then. How would that be different? So let's go back, say, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, even 4 years, when the price would dump the same way. How do you view that Wall Street manipulating is different than the whales manipulating back in the earlier days?
Well, there's just a difference between people there. So Wall Street just got the institutional money and they understand the math behind it. So if I dump $10 billion right now, they know exactly how low Bitcoin's price is gonna go. So they know that they can come right back in. The whales didn't really necessarily know how much it was, how much they were gonna get if they dumped it. So, and then comes the cascade effect of retail being able to sell underneath that panic. So, there's a lot of calculations that go into it that I think that Wells wasn't calculating back in the days that Wall Street definitely is calculating today. And,
So you think Wall Street, I mean, essentially is smarter. They know more, they know how to calculate risk, they know how to play the algos.
I
Like
wouldn't say they're
you're
smarter. I wouldn't say they're smarter, but I would say that they definitely have more tools than us and they have more options to get out of the situation as opposed to us. If Bitcoin does go down, let's just say, I'm not saying that it is, but if Bitcoin goes down to $10,000, I feel like a lot of people will be overexposed in Bitcoin because they don't have the same outlets as Wall Street. And
I'd
got it.
sell
Yeah.
my left kidney. I'd sell my left kidney at 10K.
and remember, some people, man, never mind. Go ahead.
No, we're good. I think that was a really good jumping off point. Those were great points. I love the whole thing.
Yes, sir.
Whether people agree or not, I think that was perfect. Let's start the next segment of this and go to some either other opinions or if people have questions for you specifically. This is Prolific is our co-host, guest speaker, whatever you want to call him, and we're playing off him. So Journey Ban is the other co-host today. He's gonna manage getting the speakers up, making sure everybody's in order. So Journey, who do we have that was looking to speak next?
I think it was Bastion Salty and then the Hoff. I think that's the hands I saw go up.
Perfect.
Good
Let's
morning,
roll.
everybody. How you doing?
Hey Bastion, how's it going?
Great, man. Good
Doing
morning,
well,
Prolific. How are you, buddy?
Good morning, brother. How's everything today?
Good, man. Just had my first cup of coffee, so I'm starting to wake up. I'm out here on the West Coast. Hey, I want to say I agree with some of the things that you've said. I think there is some manipulation. I think there's always been manipulation. I think Bitcoin was built for attacks, and it's always been under attack. I know you're real familiar with the block wars. That was a massive attack. It survived. But I'm going to push back with you, push back quite hard because I think you're kind of pessimistic. I'm a lot more optimistic. And I want to start. My thesis is because I can't, you said so many things that I'm going to pick the things that I disagree with, not the things that I agree with.
Definitely not
your
definitely
statement
not
is
pessimistic, right?
Bitcoin is Wall
Fast forward
Street's
today, it
bitch,
seems
I'm
like
going
I
to
was
take the
definitely
opposite.
on the right
I'm going to
path.
say Wall Street is in fact Bitcoin's bitch, and this is my opening statement. Wall Street
Okay.
didn't actually adopt Bitcoin; it surrendered to Bitcoin. For over a decade, the legacy financial elites mocked us, they dissed us, and they
I love
attacked
how
us.
everybody in
They
this
called
chat
it
try to
rat
use Chat
poison,
GPT. Like I
Ponzi
was
scheme,
freestyling,
tulip
then y'all made
mania.
fun of all my
Yet
fucking
here
stuttering
we
problems
are
because I was
right
trying to dumb
now,
down all the
and the largest
motherfucking
asset
logic
managers
that
in
I
the
was giving
world,
you niggas, and you
BlackRock,
niggas were just
Fidelity,
fucking
Vanguard,
through the
they're
moon with
all
everything. And
bending
now
the
look,
knee. They're
Chat
all
GPT and
packaging
shit.
Bitcoin and ETFs. They're all scrambling to secure exposure. Why are they doing this? Because Bitcoin rules can't be changed, its supply can't be inflated, and its network cannot be owned. There's a simple truth here. Bitcoin didn't become Wall Street's bitch. Wall Street became Bitcoin's sales team. I see this as a positive, Prolific, not as a negative. I also see this as inevitable because at the end of the day, Bitcoin is not a financial product, it is a tech product. And let me go to that real quick because I think this is where, in almost all of the X spaces, this gets lost because it's always about Wall Street and it's always about investors, and they lose sight of what Bitcoin really is, and it's tech. Let me read a quick sentence from Jason Lowry in Software. Quote, Bitcoin is the first instance in computer science where brute physical power, energy expenditure, is used to constrain and govern digital behavior. It merges thermodynamic cost with machine logic, end quote, Jason Lowry. What does this mean? Well, for 70 years, computers ran on logic alone, thought, abstract symbolism, operations that could be duplicated, edited, hacked with no cost at all. Okay. Software has no physical weight, it has no mass, it's not tied down to the laws of nature. What Bitcoin introduced, its great tech breakthrough, was that it's the first computer science that uses the laws of physics, particularly thermodynamics, to secure information. There is a high physical cost if you want to attack Bitcoin. This also means that owning more Bitcoin does not give you more power over the network. Now, who owns the most Bitcoin? Is it Wall Street? The answer is a big no. Over 60% of all Bitcoin is held by plebes, held by technologists, held by coders, held by free thinkers. There's only about 1.5 million approximately. You can look at different sources. We'll call it 1.5 million Bitcoin that's in circulation at any given time. Now, is there some manipulation? Yeah, I think there is. I think there always has been. I don't trust the exchanges at all. We just saw what happened at Coinbase. We don't know if they're telling us the truth. We don't know what's going on there because they're not showing us their holdings. I think that's a big problem. I think in the future, you'll see those holdings. I also know one of your thesis, Prolific, is that somehow Michael Saylor is going to sell his Bitcoin, or I'm not sure.
No, it's not 100% correct, but his whole thesis is based off of not selling Bitcoin. So if the guy ever does have to sell Bitcoin or ever gets margin called, he'll find himself in a sticky situation because he built.
Well, you
his
said
whole
he was going to
thesis around
lend it out. You don't believe that anymore?
No, yeah, he wants to be a bank.
Well, here's a
said that
statement from Saylor. This is a quote. We will never lend our Bitcoin. It's an apex asset. We will borrow against it, but we will not put it at risk. So he would have to I'm not saying he won't change his mind, but at this point, we really don't have that information.
Fast forward today, he
And
wants
the
to be
way
a
he
bank, like I
talks in
said.
all his videos, he wants to just accumulate more Bitcoin. And I agree with him. I have Bitcoin. I'm never going to sell my Bitcoin. I knew 10 years ago that this asset was so pristine. I come from the housing industry, and people lend on housing, and housing's a horrible asset. I don't know if you guys realize how bad of an asset housing is. Housing has a 30, in America, we build homes to last 30 years. In Europe, they built to last 100 years. So you're lending on an asset that's decaying, has thermodynamic decay. It has fire risk. It has the state risk. Who knows how many taxes are going to be put on that thing? It has quality of neighborhood risks. It's full of what I call economic friction. It's also difficult to secure the value. You have to get appraisers. But with Bitcoin, you know what the value is. It's easy to transfer. There's not 10, 11% real estate fees and transfer cost. So in the future, getting loans you can get loans right now. I'm just waiting for single digits, because once you have single digit ability to borrow on Bitcoin, we can do what Wall Street's doing. In fact, I know people that are doing it right now. Darkside said he's borrowed on his coin. I think he paid 12%, and he's done quite well off that. He'll be able to pay his Bitcoin off, and he'll capture the upside. So he doesn't even lose the upside. So when he gets his Bitcoin back, if it's gone up, he'll get that. The other thing is, you talked about number go up. Well, it's a fact, number go up. Over a 200-week moving average, if you look at the circular Bitcoin clock, Bitcoin has always gone up. And due to its deflationary issuance going to zero, the only thing in human history that's had this, it will continue to go up because there's only going to be 21 million. And I think at the end of the day, the institutional adoption.
So you see how they're saying all of that, right? Like, you know, what he was saying had some relevance to it, but the problem is that this was over a time horizon where money was just being printed from 2008 all the way up until right now, where we are having these issues, and that we are trying to figure out, can we kick the can down? Can we make the shenanigans keep on going further down the line, or are we gonna have to make a pivot? And the pivot, as of right now, which we didn't talk about because we didn't get into like the whole economics part of it, we were starting to stick to the whole Bitcoin ethos of it, but is that investors are now seeking safe haven, and safe haven is not in Bitcoin, hence why the price is down. And as the price keeps on going down, which goes down to what this guy's saying, yeah, while price was going up, that's because people were buying it. As of right now, price is going down, people are selling it. That means that there is an abundance of Bitcoin. You can just buy Bitcoin right now. So that is the difference. And as long as we're going to keep on having that instance with everything, then of course it's always going to be, yeah, number go up. But right now, that what the whole point of this is, that the whole point of that back then was to basically point out that this is being threatened right now, and this completely went over everybody's head. And yeah,
is absolutely a benefit to people who own Bitcoin. They entered
So
late.
can I count?
Yeah, let me jump in here. Or Prolific, do you have something specific you wanna
Yeah,
you wanna go off there? Yeah,
I've
go
been
for it.
writing the whole thing. So yeah, so they knew the reason why everything is happening right now with that whole entire halvening situation, going back to your point with the halvening, is because Wall Street understood that if they came in while they were still mining 50 Bitcoin per block, that
bang
they
them
was
out,
going to get dumped on.
bang them out
So
like you
there's
banged them
a
out.
strategic.
Prolific, we might have lost you.
Hello,
Can you
you hear
hear
me?
us? Oh yeah, we
Hello,
got you
yeah.
now.
So you could say that Wall Street like that was it's ultimate, especially against the libertarian type of crowd that needs to get this off their feet from 0 to 1,000. So in order for you to do that, you need to have the people, sell it as this was government money that was going to kill the government. So that was number one. On smart money versus speed. So 60%. Now you said 60% of plebes are holding wallets and stuff like that. That's not 100% accurately true, because I got over 1,000 wallets with plebe numbers in it. So at the end of the day, that's not 100% true. The people back in the days who was generating big amounts of Bitcoin, they put them in a whole bunch of wallets. So I would say, I will argue at least 20% out of that 60% is still whales.
And we're
We
seeing the
also have
consolidation and all of this stuff starting to leak out
Well,
into
they're
the
not
Bitcoin
institutions, are they?
they could be. Remember, Wall Street, just because Wall Street's buying now doesn't mean that they wasn't buying before, or mining, or pushing narrative. Like, nobody can confirm this.
Well, it would
So
have been
but
individuals, not Wall Street, because they didn't have the regulations. Wall Street got in when it got in because they got the
so
regulations
I
to get
bought
in.
my Bitcoin off of Wall Street in 2013. There was a Bitcoin exchange that opened up on literally right next to the stock exchange in Wall Street.
Do
It
your
was
Was it
open
research.
for a year and
licensed?
a half.
What
Do
was the
your
name of it?
No,
What
it
research.
was
was
the
not
license on
licensed.
it?
It was only miners that was selling the Bitcoin through the miner and trying to pump the
Yeah,
price like that.
that's not. You're just renaming things. That's not a license. That's not Wall Street.
Yeah, I completely understand. At
It
the end of
doesn't
the
matter
day,
about the
I'm
license. It
saying
matters about
that
how the
it was already
bubbling was
being talked
bubbling.
about on Wall Street back then.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it was being talked about.
So the people who could invest into it, your company at that time couldn't invest into it, but you as an individual, a Wall Street trader as an individual, could have invested into it. So they could still, as an individual, you could still be a Wall Street person that has this. So, and as far as Michael Saylor could be trying, we don't know this and we can't confirm this, but Saylor has a dying business. This is the reason why he attached himself to Bitcoin. This is the reason why he did everything with Bitcoin, because he figured out that this would keep his business still at flow. We don't know if he has a seat at the round table. We don't even know if he's at war right now. He could be on our side at war against Wall Street, or he could be trying to sit down at the table and be like, hey, listen, I got this amount of Bitcoin. I'm trying to sit with you. We don't know his
See,
end
see,
period.
I don't see. This is the thing that I'm going to push back the most on is I don't think there's sides. You know, you're talking. A lot of your opinion,
Okay,
a lot of
well,
your
I want to address a couple of
position
things
is.
that you just said. I get it as far as the sides. I'm not saying that there is no sides or anything as far as that. What I'm basically saying is that these are possibilities. And
Well,
as
here's the
an
thing.
investor, you need to take into consideration all the possibilities of what's going on, because this is your future. You're not gonna have
This
nobody to
is your
blame but
future,
yourself if
brother.
this goes wrong.
And if you bought the top,
I don't
that's you,
know.
homie.
Again, I'm much more optimistic than you are. I'm not concerned
I'm
about the
optimistic too.
ideologies.
Like I said, I've been in Bitcoin for a very long time. I got it tattooed all over my body. Like, I'm super optimistic, but I understand the dynamics of what's being played right now.
Yeah, I think the only
Well, but
dynamics
it
that
seems
come
that
up
they
are the
don't.
thermodynamics, not the ideologies.
but I tend to agree with Sebastian a little bit, to be honest, bro, because it's just like, Wall Street can basically tell you that they've now got licenses, and now banks have licenses, and now everyone kind of has licenses. But Bitcoin is for anyone, not everyone. So at the end, like, they're gonna try and get as much as they can, and if you can use their derivative products to get more, then why wouldn't you? Like, I mean,
Yeah,
if they're gonna hold it just like they would gold, then wouldn't they do the same with Bitcoin? And if they would, why wouldn't you use the products they give you to stack more garbage cash to trade in for
of
Bitcoin?
course,
Because that's all they did throughout human history.
of course. But that's to the people who have access to that. Bitcoin sitting at $104,000. Not everybody has access to that capital.
That's unit bias. I can right now. You know what I'm going to do right now? I'm going to buy $5 worth of Bitcoin on strike right now.
I understand what you can do.
Where that $5 at right
It's not
now?
a matter of
Where
what you
that
can
five
do. It's
at? Yo,
still a
this is
matter of
hilarious. See
how
what I
the
mean?
system is
Like,
being
they think
tainted
that
around it.
they understand it. They think they
I just don't.
understand it.
You
The
can't.
miners, are captured. The miners are captured by BlackRock. You're saying that there is no threat. We have quantum computer around the corner.
expand how the
Hold
miner.
on. We have quantum computer around the corner. We know that Bitcoin is going through a change as of right now with the opportunities and everything that's going on. That they're trying to start involving shit coins and all types of shit. There could be a happening within that. If BlackRock and everybody gets behind this could be a different issue.
Look, people have been putting information on. In 2013, the entire white paper was put on a block long before the op return. 80 meg limit
Y'all should read that white
was
paper.
changed.
Like, really
So
read that
people
white
have been
paper.
putting, because here's the thing, the Bitcoin network is not necessarily a financial network. It is strictly a data network. It's a thermodynamically protected data network. You, me, anyone who has sats can do anything they want with that network. That's part of the freedom of the network. We've chosen as a group through game theory that we've decided the most valuable data is financial data. So again, Bitcoin is an attack surface. I agree with you on that. It is and has been continually attacked. I agree with you on that. But it was built for this attack. And also,
Hey, Bastion, let me clear something up here real quick. I'm curious, with your point, do you believe that Wall Street matters at all? Like, is
yeah,
it
of course
when
they
you're
do.
talking thermodynamics and all that, and I'm not disagreeing with that,
They
but based
literally
on that
dumped in $2
argument,
trillion.
does it even
It took
matter?
us a
Does it
whole
matter if it's
16 years
whales?
to
Does it
put in
matter if it's
1.2
Wall
trillion.
Street? Does it matter if
Over
it's
a long enough timeline, no.
okay? Got it. That's what I was
In a
curious about.
short
So
time periods, I agree with Prolific. There's shenanigans, but those things work themselves out. And if you're trading, because what Prolific's talking about is a lot of trading. He's coming to this as a market.
it's more short term, yeah. So
Yeah,
then, so I
where
want to go to
I'm not,
Prolific. Do
I
you?
don't advise trading. I would say don't do it if you're a Bitcoiner. Bitcoin is a long-term play. It's a 10-year play minimum. If you're young, it's longer than that. And you don't trade, you just accumulate because over a 200-week moving average number does go up.
So Prolific, I'm curious what your thought is on that in terms of the longer time frame and the soundness of the money, all that. Outside of any short term, do you think this is something that is
20%.
Wall Street just going to
It's
control
20% sent from
in
4
perpetuity
years
and
ago,
we're
all
just
time
screwed
high.
forever,
This is
or
what they didn't
can
calculate.
can we still be on that same path that Bastion is talking about.
So, like I said, if Bitcoiners can get their shit together, I believe that we can get on our path. But I believe that everybody's so comfortable within their stature, especially like right now. This is a war. I get up every day and I fight. I don't advise anybody to trade, but I fight. You know, I'm trying to take this Bitcoin away from Wall Street. I'm not trying to sit here
I
and let
fight.
price
What do you
accumulate all the
guys
way up
do?
to $1 million and me working for Bitcoin. That's slavery. Once again, I'm trying to put my Bitcoin to work and free myself the proper way. Like, investors build a portfolio, and this is how you build a portfolio. So I could understand that. As far as the long term part of it, like I really do believe we're under threat right now. This opportune thing right now could spark into a a a bigger issue where we can go into us having a bigger debate of us
And all they've been doing
forking.
ever since then was
And if we
dividing us,
fork,
and all the
you
new
know,
bips and nips and
BlackRock,
everything that's been
all
coming
these
out been
institutions
dividing
right
us.
now pretty much captured all the mining rigs, so they got no problem doing it, being able to support whatever fork that they want. You know, you got quantum resistance coming in. We got 3.8 million coins that are lost. If quantum resistance comes in, those 3.8 million coins are most likely going to get fucking taken. That's going to start panic within the market. Plus Satoshi's coins, so that's 4.8 million coins. So that's even going to cause even more panic in the market. So people are going to have to
Facts
think
versus
in the future
opinions.
later on. It's not foolproof because our world is constantly evolving. And to be honest, and at a technology pace, we're evolving 300% year over year. We're evolving at our fastest pace. I don't even think in the next 10 years we're going to even remember what the fuck happened because what all this shit that is going to be coming out, these robots and everything. So I do really feel like we have a real big threat, and if we don't get our Bitcoin mindset together as a community, that yes, we are going to lose this battle.
Prolific, what do you think we should do? Like, what is in your view us as, so I know
Protect your
you've been in
capital.
longer than
Protect your
most people
capital and
here.
get more Bitcoin.
What speaking to people that might have just gotten in this year, last year, even 2020, whatever it is, what do you think is the best thing that we can do to protect ourselves against Wall Street?
I think you guys should study the fuck out of Wall Street because then you figure out where they fuck up at and where you guys can start extracting money from. I think that you also should stop buying based off of news sentiment that they keep on putting out. They control everything. You have to do your due diligence. This is not just gonna, tuck away Bitcoin in my ledger and tuck it under my pillow and Wall Street's just gonna crumble at my feet. They don't work like that. They just don't.
I
But
want to
but what
talk
is but
about
what is
this.
hold on, Bastion. But what is the thing? So I think most people, the general consensus is that we're gonna buy Bitcoin when we can, put it in cold storage, and basically just chill. What
Mhm.
is and when you have a little more money, you get, you do it again and you just keep going. So what I'm curious about, and
That's a solid theory. When price is moving in your favor, when you have discovered trend and you see that trend is moving in your favor, that is a solid theory. You buy and you put in, you ride the trend. But there has to be a point where you take profits because people are not thinking like you. People are thinking taking profits. And they show that by showing you how much Bitcoin could be flooded back onto the market at any given moment. And they keep doing this to you guys constantly. This is our fourth cycle, and diminishing returns have shown. Remember, I told you October this was going to change, and what happened? October 10th it changed. October 31st, a lot of fucking things got broken. So where's everybody? Where's that conviction now? Where's the $5 now, bro? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you got some sats, but you could have got more sats for your $5. This is what people ain't understanding, and this is time. You're wasting time and work to go over there and get money, and you're losing time every time when you make these bad trades and these FOMO trades and all this bullshit that you guys want to do.
I don't think most people are going to try to fight Wall Street, but is there something in your mind that is that people will actually do that we could do as non-technical, perhaps? Not and everybody here, we're not all going to learn Wall Street.
We understand that you're not gonna learn Wall Street, Rob. You got a lot of fucking. You're a very, very smart man. But it's funny how everybody could learn how to spill propaganda on X for that paycheck, but they can't learn how to protect their investments. So, these are actions will always speak louder than words, and this has always been my thing with shit.
I mean, I studied it.
That's
I went to
correct.
business school. I still don't understand it. I mean, I've been in it, all my life to some degree. Like,
You
what would you
understand it. It's a
suggest, like, on
Ponzi
an
scheme, bro.
easier
You
basis
understand
that
it.
people
It's a
could
it's a
do, like,
lot
in this
Ponzi scheme. You
audience?
understand.
What would be your number one suggestion?
I would definitely be gauging the sentiment around the world. Right now we're losing power as the euro dollar. I mean, as the dollar right now, the euro is paying nearly over 48% for the next 48 hours on their thing. The yen is paying over 210%. So why do you think investors are going overseas? Our money's very expensive right now. So when you understand the dynamic of where the money's flowing and how it's flowing to, I feel like that's an edge. That's an edge in your battle. And like I said, right now, if we are on the verge of a recession, because the numbers, everything is wacky, and we're discovering right now, thanks to Bitcoin, thanks to the internet, thanks to everything, we're discovering how grimy these guys are, or how sneaky these guys been for our whole entire lives, our parents' lives, our
And
grandparents'
it's just
lives, everybody. They've
unraveling
been
deeper and
fucking
deeper
selling us
and deeper
dreams
and
for our whole entire
deeper.
lives.
Fast forward from this
And
day that I did this
I
to
don't think that's
today.
gonna. They're
It's
getting
not even been a
exposed,
whole year.
but the dynamics are changing, and now we have this threshold with Bitcoin. Like I said, I really think that we should understand our best buying opportunities, take full advantage of those buying opportunities, and when there's profits on the table, as long as it's not depleting your stash and fucking it up, I think that you should be taking your profits and accumulating Bitcoin with it, because these guys are doing that, but they're doing it with multi-billion-dollar trades. So, Bitcoin goes up 1%. Yeah, they sell 450,000 Bitcoin. I mean, 450. They sell 600 Bitcoin, and then immediately they buy back 600 Bitcoin at the bottom. They just wash traded and earned themselves a good little 50, 60 million. So, and they're going to rebuy Bitcoin with that. So they're
Yeah, that's
accumulating
what the
profits very
markets
quickly.
do. That's why people invest in these prolific. You just described the feature, advantage, and benefit of investing in an ETF. You're helping sell the
And
product.
to your point of Bitcoin having a lock supply of 21 million, people need to get that out their head. They have a lock supply of 21 million, yes, but this could be denominated into 100 million sats, and then it can also be denominated into 100 million M sats.
Yeah, that's
So at the
fine.
end of the day,
That's still the
it can
same
keep on.
amount, bro. You
Yes,
haven't
but
changed the amount.
it doesn't change the amount, but what it does is that it skews the amount into the negatives.
Hey, Rob,
And
I want to go
not
back
saying
to
that
this whole miner thing and the
Hey,
fork
let's
issue
actually,
real quick. Let
guys.
me seriously, because
Hold on, Bastion. Hold on, hold
that's a
on.
grenade. You can't just let that grenade just
Let's
blow up without answering it.
I wanna come back to that later, but
That
right now I want to get
grenade.
some other voices in here. We've
Okay.
talked a
Definitely get
lot.
some more voices
We
in
will
here,
bring you
but
back up,
I
Bastion,
know
but
what's coming up.
I
But
want to move
regardless of
on
whatever
to some other
happened,
people
I'm
here.
gonna let
Journey,
this rock
who did you
out.
say
But
else
regardless of whatever
was it
happened,
Salty that
we
was
were
Yeah.
talking
Yeah, that was
110%
me.
right. They should have took their
All
profits.
right.
They didn't
Good,
understand what to
What do you
do.
got, Salty? How's it going
good,
today?
good, good. Thank you, Rob. Good
This guy
morning,
was the most
everyone. Good
funniest
morning.
because if you go check his profile and his
So
DCAs,
we
he
are
got
all
waxed.
Satoshi. So prolific. I just want to say that look, I agree to some of the things you said that are welcome for us to think about. But I think the vibe you're bringing is specific, pessimistic. Here we have new people to Bitcoin, and the way it is portrayed, they're coming
if
already.
the thing
So
just
you
the thing
guys
with
No, no,
rather
let me
sell
finish.
these
No,
new
you
people
got to
to
let me finish,
top
bro.
than to actually
So,
give them the bottom of
so
what's
they're
going on today.
coming
They should have
to
been buying
know
today,
about
not
the
when you
best
guys say.
asset that ever existed. They're coming to know about the hope for humanity. And with all these questions, when they hear these things, not knowing things, they will run away. So what I'm trying to say is, first, Bitcoin is for everyone. It's for our enemies. It's even for Wall Street. But the thing is, Wall Street, Wall Street is working for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not a company. First, it is a commodity, it's tech, right? But Bitcoin, everyone works for Bitcoin. So for in history, that this is the first time Main Street or
Bitcoin works
us,
for me. I
right,
don't work for Bitcoin.
run front run Wall Street for the first time in history. That's why I understand today why Wall Street is coming up with all these tools to extract or steal our Bitcoin. So we have to understand, yes, Main Street has Bitcoin, but Wall Street knows they cannot get more than 21 Bitcoin. So they have to steal it from someone. So this is very important for us to understand. And you see a lot of things that I agreed with, um, but I just want to kind of level things up. And to me, Bitcoin doesn't bow to anyone. It is just a question of season. The volatility is the friend for us. They don't care about the volatility. They can make money at every level because they have the tools for that. But again, anyone here in the middle class needs to understand something. If Bitcoin goes to $77,000 today, guys, I'm going to be the happiest man in the whole world. Why? Because I understand Bitcoin today. So when it goes down, I buy more. I
It's
buy
funny because
less
he was
SAT today
buying thousands of
compared to
dollars
last
worth at the
month
top,
or
and then
three
when you look
months
at
or a
his
year
buys at the
ago
bottom, it wasn't
when
the
it was
same. So the
$50,000.
conviction isn't the
So
same there. So
because I
he
know the
talks about how
fundamental
that
is
was a
there.
great ass opportunity.
Look, it can go all the way down to
Conviction wasn't there.
10,000, even $1. I'll buy everything. Guys, Bitcoin is economic power. He who have that economic power will be able to make change in the world. We got into Bitcoin to make the world better. So to me, it's all about perspective. Bitcoin doesn't bow to anyone. First, it's open network, fixed supply, right? And also the global adoption, especially the global adoption, make it resistant to control. They don't control Bitcoin. You need that 51% attack to be able to control it.
Hey,
That's why.
Salty.
Go ahead.
Salty, can I jump in here for a
Yes, sir.
second and ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that it matters that Wall Street is in, or do
Yes.
you think is it like where is your view? It's like I'm sort of hearing that it doesn't matter because of everything else, but then
I'm glad
I'm
you
hearing that you
peeping
might
this, Rob.
sort
This
of
is
think
what I'm saying.
where do
Like you
you
caught
fall
it.
on
You
that
just picked the
spectrum?
wrong side,
Okay.
bro.
So to me, everyone is welcome to Bitcoin. It is a game of power. Bitcoin is the game of power. And just remember a little bit about the history. We used to
A
have
game of
the
power for
money
Wall Street.
competition in the analog world, where gold won the money competition. We're going into digital or cyberspace now. What will be or what money will be the winner? We're gonna have a money competition in cyberspace. That's why we have cryptocurrencies. We have other we have Bitcoin. But for us who study Bitcoin, we know where it's going. But again, to me, I believe it does matter. Wall Street comes in because this is the season for Wall Street, right? Because Bitcoin has to go to men to men adoption. It has to be known by other countries, by other people. So right now, I believe that Wall Street is working for Bitcoin.
Everybody knows
They're
about
working for
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin because of
Nobody
them.
bought it.
Here other country
They all
coming
went
in
into
now.
gold and
Here
silver,
institution.
brother.
Look at institution adoption. So it is just a season throughout the journey of Bitcoin. And they're coming, they will not control Bitcoin. They're bowing to Bitcoin. So to me, whether it remains a beacon of freedom or gets entangled in traditional finance depends on how people use it. Wall Street might want a piece of it, and that's what's going on right now. But that doesn't mean it owns Bitcoin. That it doesn't mean it controls Bitcoin. The system is decentralized. We have to think
Yeah, I
about the
just realized. I think
decentralization
this dude is
part
African,
of
bro.
it.
This nigga's a
Think
booty
about the
scratcher,
scarcity
bro. He
part
was
of
over
it.
here trying to scam
Understand the
everything.
liquidity that exists into Bitcoin. Understand you have to learn, study Bitcoin. Who's new to Bitcoin and hear me right now, please study Bitcoin, right? Do not have a trading perspective. Come to Bitcoin,
105,000. They told
learn
you,
that
yo,
you
get
have
into
to accumulate
Bitcoin. You
for
reach
power
what?
projection, for your
Let's go
family, for your
105.
descendant, for generation to come.
Let's give
Because
it
I
back.
tell
Cause
you,
when this shit
Bitcoin
happened,
everything will be denominated in Bitcoin terms. Nobody can shut it down
It's
or manipulate the supply so far. So calling it Wall Street, Wall Street Beach, nah.
nah.
That's
Yeah, it
missing the
is.
big picture.
It is. It actually
Everything is
is.
working for Bitcoin,
That's the
and
crazy part.
in 4 years
Brother just
we
stated
might
that
have a different
percentage that you got.
narrative,
So
but
you were telling
everything
people
is
to
working
buy
for
Bitcoin
Bitcoin,
for a
and
15%
the
gain,
institutional is part of it.
You're
Hey,
contradicting yourself.
Salty, I
a
like that point.
42% loss, bro.
I think
You
the
a
biggest
fucking
point
Einstein
that's
dickhead.
interesting that I want to hear Prolific's take on is that you believe this is just a season, essentially, and the broader global adoption, universe adoption, whatever it is, and this is just part of it. Prolific, I'm curious specifically what you think about that point.
So you got regulations coming down the pipeline. So they're about to throw regulations at us after July 9th. You have institutions creating and laying down the foundation and the tracks to be able to accumulate Bitcoin and to keep you at the same position that you've been at the whole entire time. The price is running out of most people's hands. If it goes up to 700 to 77,000, that's great for you. But the rest of the world, those plebs that you're talking about that need freedom, that need this, they're not freedom.
That's why you
still
selling
stuck
niggas
playing the
dreams,
same
bro.
game. And I'm not against Bitcoin, and I'm not trying to say don't get Bitcoin. What I'm trying to say is be smart about your Bitcoin, because you are now playing a game against somebody who got every fucking piece of data, every machine that could scrape the sentiment and understand the volatility. Wall Street got in this because they understand that you could that the sentiment that everybody is clinging on to the moon boy fact that I'm gonna be able to get out the system. But if they're the
So
ones who
Hey,
are
I
driving
think
the narrative
so
of the system, they're creating the rules. Go ahead, brother.
I
so
think this is I guess hold up a second. I think this is a perfect spot to have Hoff jump in on, because we were talking about on the last space, and his chart of, I think, is the one that he sent up, that retail is selling and the big players, Wall Street is jumping in and grabbing everything, which I think both points can be true. I think Prolifics and Salty's both points can be true there. Um, Hoff, are you able to speak right now on that?
Good morning, everybody. Hope you all are having a great Saturday.
Good morning, brother.
Thanks
Morning.
for letting me contribute.
Glad to have
Yes,
you.
so I come at this, of course, from a perspective of Wall Street because I'm on Wall Street. Been here for 30 years, but I also am a miner. So I run a mining operation with S19. Going to come to
We sold out. No, they didn't. They came to the party when they noticed that they can't be dumped on.
think we're going to continue along. This is fine. I don't think there's any issue. I don't think quantum computing is
This was all formed against me, and they still lost. Talk that fact.
I just want to update my note. Cool. That only works for some. Yep. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that works, and it might work for 5, 10. UTXO in this
Yo, that salty ass thinking ass kid, bro, that nigga just needs reassurance. He needs to just be like, so you think that we should just that's that, right? All we know is that we got people to flip flop. Yo, this nigga is so stupid, bro. Ironic, huh? This is all ironic right here. Woo! You know what? That was a great bar right there, boy. Anybody who's holding those prefer micro strategies. What's his name? A Dumb Stats. Or when there's opportunity. There will only be 21 million Hoi corners. But that's the problem. Everybody keeps on fucking talking about Bitcoin and they don't understand it. CoinyChat.com. Not understand anything. Which I was already painted as. Tom. Nah, that's big coin talk. That ain't. Oh, let me try to buy some sats because I feel like the price is down. That's real talk right there. Lagging versus leading, baby. That was the Japan yen carry trade on wine. Lagging versus leading. Exit liquidity. And there's a lot of people who do. And there's a lot of people in that room that didn't. This nigga knows absolutely nothing. Or I'm an insider, huh? Obviously, that's not you. Who is this guy? It sure doesn't seem like it right now. Into stable coins. I hope he can hold everybody accountable to that. Here we go. Here we go with fiat. So nonchalant, like you believe your own shit.
No worries. Listen, wish I bought one. Told me to. It was big.
And you only end up with more sats by making good buys. Oh yeah, so there's like an hour left in this shit. I'm not gonna definitely do an hour left of this shit, but you guys could definitely find this up in my post or in Rob's post. And yeah, man, we could take it from there. But basically, I wanted to go through this and show that, there is a lot of people that have these heavy accounts with a lot of followings, and they are pushing propaganda for paychecks, and they don't give a fuck if they hurt you or not, because their mantra is that they're gonna stack sacks with that paycheck, and they don't care what level it is, as long as they keep on creating FOMO around you. And Rob said it the best within there. Everybody should be following accounts that are critical, not these accounts that are like looking, to be doorkeepers and stuff like that. So other than that, man, just wanted to put this little video out, let everybody know that we always thinking and we always on our pivot. So we trying to make things happen, but it is what it is. It's how it goes. But until the next one, guys, I'm gonna holler at you.